an item on the agenda.
Are you gonna have public comment at the
And at
end?
the end, we will have public comment, as in the past, on matters around February 20th.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so hearing nothing, then we'll move right into our committees. Councilman Ritter, planning and zoning.
So, I'm Laura Foster. I live in Quakertown. I also work in Quakertown. I sit on a couple of boards myself. Whenever anything comes up that is of importance, we're not joking around, we're not laughing, we're not kind of doing old boys club stuff. We're talking about the issues at hand. The silence from this board is deafening on what happened to our students. I know when you all ran, that you ran under political parties, right? We know who's the Dems and who's the Republicans. It's very clear. But once you're elected to the board, your politics need to step aside, and that includes your political allegiances to individuals that hold the same political affiliation as you do because they hold a position in this administration or in the police department. When you're elected to represent everyone in your community. You're not here to protect the police. You're not here to protect yourselves. You're here to serve us. That includes people like me that you find confrontational or difficult. It includes the 5 students who were arrested. It includes the other students who stood up and that were there during the protest. It includes their families. It includes the Hispanic population who are overwhelmingly misrepresented in the felony charges. This is your community as well. All of these people that come before you today, whether they have, whatever their opinions are, all of us represent your community. And to leave out pieces of that community because you're worried about, I'm sure there's lawsuits coming. I mean, we all know that there'll be lawsuits coming after what Scott did, right? I hope your insurance is up to date, right? Because I can about guarantee you're going to get slammed with stuff. If nothing else, use that as your point of contact for trying to address this issue. If nothing else, if that's the only thing that can get through to you is money, then let that be it. But hopefully there's a deeper conscience that you represent an entire community here. Hopefully there's a deeper conscience that sees that those children are just as important as all of the other children that you are concerned about when you're talking about the new school in Quakertown. Because those kids came from the elementary schools. Those are just as much of importance as anyone else. They're just as important as the police officers. So when you were silent, your silence is what your words are. Your silence is what your actions are. So whether you disagree with what is said, it doesn't matter because you're silent as well. So the history will remember that you were silent in this moment. The history will remember that you were silent in this moment when you had a chance to stand up and say something. Just because one person, the president, says that they're not going to make a comment does not exclude anyone here from making a comment. Every single one of you can make a comment if you choose to. You're not beholden to his words. You're all elected officials. You don't have to betray what's happening if you have executive sessions. You don't have to betray any of that. You can simply make a comment is that we care about students. How hard would that be? But instead you choose to sit in silence. Instead you choose to ignore what our community is dealing with. You have this opportunity tonight to do this, May. You have this opportunity to do this tonight, Dave. Both of you do. Remember who elected you. Remember who your constituents are. And the rest of you also, remember when your election time comes up, that your silence will not betray you during those times, or will betray you in those times. This may have died down in the public sphere, right? We don't have the million news reporters here, but it hasn't died down in this community. It hasn't died down when every day I pass Sundays on my way into work. It hasn't died down when we have students who are still dealing with legal cases and felony charges. And they're there in school trying to deal with the trauma of what happened to them. So you can sit up here and kind of laugh about the silly things that are happening and make jokes, ignoring what has happened in our community, or you can actually do something about it. The time is now. History will 100% remember you. This isn't about police being bad or police being good. This is about Scott's actions.
I'm Zachary Kohler. So it's been a month, silence from the council. It's kind of shameful, honestly. I'm not going to be able to follow up Laura. She's a much better speaker than I, but your silence is violence. I don't know if you've ever heard that phrase, but it's complicity. It's like when good people don't do something, when bad people are doing things, that is just as bad as doing what they were doing. I want to bring up, well, Laura brought up the failed opposition smear campaign, the doxing by local Facebook groups, individuals even connected to the council. Intimidation tactics from white Christian nationalists, somebody who just won a primary, or is going to be in the primary, just received a pretty creepy Easter card praising Scott and what he did to the kids. So that was kind of scary. But we're going to continue the pressure campaign. We've had successful noise demos. I'm sure some of you have driven through them on Sundays. 12 to 2. Welcome to come. Make a comment there. That would be really appreciated, actually. We've gotten lots of public support online, even here in the streets, beeping. We even saw Craig Stats. I spotted him. He drove by, but he's silent as well on Scott. Maybe that's because he's afraid he's going to lose his seat this time around. So we're going to continue the pressure campaign. The weekly protests will be at the meetings. There's actually a law enforcement grant writing event next week, I think, the end of the month, where you guys are going to teach other police departments how to request more money from the taxpayers while you guys did what you did last month. This is the third borough council meeting that we've attended, and we're once again asking for them to charge Scott McElree, the Quakertown police chief. He's on workers' comp leave right now. He's getting paid while the kids were on house arrest. I think they're all off house arrest now, but they're still facing charges, at least misdemeanors. Some of them are still facing felony charges. So we're going to keep coming to the meetings. We just asked them to take a vote. They keep refusing to take a vote to fire the chief at least, and we'll be back. We'll keep putting pressure. It's pretty weak. I guess they're not allowed to comment legally, but I mean, we have free speech. We have the First Amendment. They can make a comment. We'll go along with it. We're gonna just keep the pressure on until we get something. I don't expect much. A lot of people think that he's probably just gonna resign and take his pension and hope this all just goes away. But people aren't gonna forget. Like, this has been everywhere. Like, even my small Instagram account has had 1 million views in the past month on just this story. Like, it's just taken off. Everybody knows about it. Everybody wants justice, and we're not going to stop until it's done.
They came up just to continue to pressure the Quakertown Borough Council to do the right thing. They've remained silent since the incident on February 20th. And I mean, what happened was atrocious. One of their employees jumped into a group of children and started grabbing them and just incited all of this violence. And it's so disappointing that none of the council members have made any kind of comment. They haven't explained to the community what they're doing. Like, what's their plan? Are they going to replace the chief? We're assuming he's not going to return. Are they going to include the community in hiring a new chief? How are they going to address the trauma in the community that stemmed from that incident? They just really aren't doing their job.
Yeah. No, I second everything that Jane says. I'm Laura Foster. I'm also a leader of Upper Bucks United. I work a couple blocks away from here, and I do live in Quakertown. I have a Quakertown mailing address. There's like all these layers of that we can get into about what happened, to these kids. But the gist of it is that an adult put a chokehold on a child, right? And that adult was our chief of police. He did not identify himself when he entered into the crowd. And even if he did identify himself, he can't be doing that. It is not what is expected of our police department. There's this opportunity that we have as a community when something terrible happens to come together and to be the leader in trying to fix things and to try to make it better. Like, lots of communities go through trauma, lots of communities deal with shit. Why can't we be the ones that do it right? We're not going to get it from the leadership in this community. Our borough council has made it abundantly clear they're not going to do anything about this. If they were going to, they would have done it by now. Our school district has made some strides in trying to address this. Unfortunately, because the leaders in our community aren't doing it, then it's when we step up. And it's the advocates, and it's the parents, and it's the grandmom, and it's the store owners who are just tired of nothing happening, so we stand up and we do it. So we make the changes. We advocate for the Peace Center to come in and to try to address some of the issues that not only happened that day, but the underlying causes of this. So you can't talk about what happened to these students without talking about ICE, without talking about racism.
Right.
You know, when 4 of the 5 students that are arrested are Hispanic kids, when the police chief barrels past the white kids holding cell phones, goes right after the Hispanic kids, that's something that we need to talk about. And if we continue to not address issues of racism in this community, incidents like this will continue to happen. But we're going to do our best to stop it.
Yeah.